Art may reflect the ways people lived. Researchers have discussed how art portrays clothing in social settings. One study was conducted to determine if this idea could be extended to paintings featuring family meals. The results of this study might help illustrate why certain kinds of foods were painted. The researchers examined 140 paintings of family meals painted from the years 1500 to 2000. These came from 5 countries: the United States, France, Germany, Italy, and the Netherlands. The researchers examined each painting for the presence of 91 foods, with absence coded as 0 and presence coded as 1. For example, when 1 or more onions appeared in a painting, the researchers coded it as 1. Then they calculated the percentage of the paintings from these countries that included each food. Table 1 shows the percentage of paintings with selected foods. The researchers discussed several findings. First, some paintings from these countries included foods the researchers had expected. Shellfish were most common in the Netherlands Dutch paintings, which was anticipated as nearly half of its border touches the sea. Second, some paintings did not include foods the researchers had expected. Shellfish and fish each appeared in less than 12% of the paintings from the United States, France, and Italy, although large portions of these countries border oceans or seas. Chicken, a common food, seldom appeared in the paintings. Third, some paintings included foods the researchers had not expected. For example, among German paintings, 20% of them included shellfish, although only 6% of the country touches the sea. Also, lemons were most common in paintings from the Netherlands, even though they do not grow there naturally. Comparing these results with previous research, the researchers concluded that food art does not necessarily portray actual life. The researchers offered some explanations for this. One explanation is that artists painted some foods to express their interest in the larger world. Another is that painters wanted to show their technique by painting more challenging foods. For example, the complexity of a lemon's surface and interior might explain its popularity, especially among Dutch artists. As other interpretations are possible, it is necessary to examine the paintings from different perspectives. These are the period in which the paintings were completed and the cultural associations of foods. Both issues will be taken up in the following sections. Castles in Grandelfolk. Crestvale Castle. This ruined 13th century castle, built to defend the northern border of Grandelfolk, is currently being studied by researchers. During the open season, except on Sundays, guides explain what the research is revealing about local history. Homestead Castle. Homestead Castle, built in the 12th century to protect the southern border area, fell into ruin in the 16th century. At the entrance, signboards explain its history. This castle's open spaces are suitable for performances. King's Castle. Dating back to the 11th century, King's Castle is one of the grandest in the country. Its large collection of paintings and furniture provide a look at the area's past. Guides are available every day. Rosebush Castle. Though called a castle, this perfectly preserved 15th century building was constructed purely as a family home. From Mondays to Fridays, guides tell the story of the family's history and explain their collection of modern sculptures. Some of its rooms are available for public events. Children under 5 years old are admitted free of charge. Christine, come and help me in the garden. I want to plant all of the seeds today. My father was calling to me. I'm busy, I said. My father loves his garden, but at that time I didn't understand why working in the dirt excited him so much. By the end of April, his plants had come up in neat rows, and he put wooden stakes marked with the name of the vegetable on each row. Unfortunately, in early May, my father was seriously injured in an accident. He was in the hospital for about 2 months, and during that time he often asked me about his garden. Even after he came home, he had to stay in bed for a while. My mother had several business trips, so she couldn't take care of the garden. I didn't want my father to worry, so without being asked, I said that I would take care of his garden until he recovered. I assumed that the little plants would continue to grow as long as they had water, and luckily it rained fairly often, so I didn't think much about the garden. One Saturday morning in July, my father said to me, "Christine, I think that the vegetables should be about ready to be picked. Let's have a salad today." I took a bowl and went out to the garden. I looked at the leaf lettuce and was upset to see that many of the leaves had been half-eaten. There were hundreds of bugs all over them. I tried to get them off, but there were just too many. I looked at the carrots next, but they didn't look healthy. I pulled up a carrot, but it was tiny and looked like something had taken small bites from it. I panicked for a moment, but then thought of a good idea. I got my wallet, quietly went out the door, and rode my bicycle to the nearest store to buy some vegetables. I went back home and cut them up to make a salad for my father. When I gave it to him, he said, "Oh, Christine, what a beautiful salad. I can't believe the carrots are this big already. The lettuce is so crisp and delicious. You must be taking very good care of my garden." My father looked happy, but I felt a little bit guilty. I went back to the kitchen and was cleaning up when my mother came home from her most recent business trip. She saw the bag from the supermarket. I was embarrassed when she looked at me. So, I confessed, Dad wanted a salad, but the garden was a disaster. I didn't want to disappoint him, so I went to the store. She laughed but promised to make time to help me in the garden, and we worked hard for the next few weeks. We made a mixture of water with chopped up fresh hot peppers and then sprayed it on the vegetables. I thought this was a great idea because the spray is not harmful to humans or animals, or even the bugs. They simply don't like the spicy water. The bug-free vegetables grew quickly, and finally I was able to pick some. I carefully made a salad and took it to my father. He looked at it with a hint of a smile. "Christine, the carrots are smaller in this salad, but they taste better." I realized that he had known all along about my shopping trip. I smiled back at him. Now, I better understand how putting a lot of effort into caring for something can help you appreciate the results more, however small they may be. Perhaps this was one of the reasons for my father's love of gardening. In a few days he'll be back in the garden. I'll be right beside him, helping him in any way I can. From quiet paths by a stream in a forest to busy roads running through a city, people have created various forms of routes in different places. These now exist all around us, and their use is imperative for societies. These routes have enabled people to move, transport things, and send information from one place to another quickly and safely. Throughout history, they have been important in our daily lives. Early routes were often formed naturally on land. They gradually developed over long periods of time while people traveled them on foot or horseback. A significant turning point in their history arrived when the first wheeled carts appeared in ancient times. Once this happened, people recognized the importance of well-maintained routes. Therefore, towns, cities, and entire countries improved them in order to prosper. As a result, life became more convenient, communities grew, economies evolved, and cultures expanded. The importance of land routes increased further, especially after the appearance of automobiles. People have established routes on water, too. Rivers and canals have served as effective routes for people to move around and carry things. For instance, in the old Japanese city of Edo, water routes were used for the transportation of agricultural products, seafood, and wood, which supported the city's life and economy. People have also opened routes across the sea. The seaways, which developed based on winds, waves, water depths, and coastline geography, were critical for the navigation of ships, particularly in the days when they moved mainly by wind power. Using these sea routes, people could travel great distances and go to places they had not previously been able to reach. A number of important sea routes emerged, leading to the exchange of natural resources, products, and ideas. This, in turn, helped cities and towns thrive. People have gone on to open routes in the sky as well. Since the invention of the airplane, these routes have made it possible for people to travel long distances easily. They found the best routes by considering conditions such as winds and air currents. Eventually, people became able to travel safely and comfortably high in the sky, and going vast distances only took a small amount of time. In fact, people used to need more than 1 month to travel to Europe from Japan by ship, whereas today they can travel between them in a single day by airplane. Owing to the establishment of these sky routes, a great number of people now travel around the world for sightseeing, visiting friends, and doing business. Today, we have a new type of route, the Internet, which specializes in the electronic exchange of information. By using this worldwide route, people can easily obtain information that once was available mainly from books and face-to-face communication. They can also instantly send messages to large numbers of people all at once. According to one study, more than 3.5 billion people, which is about half of the global population, have access to this electronic route today. As technology advances, more and more people will take advantage of this route to gather information and communicate. As long as there have been people, there have been routes to connect them. These have contributed not only to the movement of people, things, and information, but also to the development of our communities, economies, and cultures. Routes have played significant roles in the development and prosperity of humankind. Currently unknown routes will surely take us even further in the future.